There we go. We are now live on YouTube. Welcome everybody. Whether you are in the room, whether you are on Zoom, or watching us on YouTube Live, it's a delight to welcome you all on this beautiful spring day to our Shabbat service with Congregation Shalom. We are going to, well, actually first, I'm going to send in the chat the Shabbat bulletin. There we go.
Did you do the sound thing?
I did.
Okay.
I did that already. We are going to begin our Shabbat worship this evening with Hine Matov, which you will find on page 10 in the regular Shabbat Siddur. And if you have the weekday festival and Shabbat Siddur, the big book, it will be on page 128 at the top of the page. Page 10, page 128, Hine Matov. We turn to page 2 and 3. Page 2 and 3 for the lighting of the Shabbat candles. Who would like to light the Shabbat candles tonight?
No, 2 girls, 2 candles. All right, let's see. We have to read this first. All right, you want to read it?
Nice and loud.
Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them. So may we, our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generation of Israel who kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Okay. Someone light it first? Who's going first? No. It's okay.
Don't grab it, honey.
It's okay.
Don't grab it.
Got trick Shabbat candles today. Try it again. There you go. Katie, you want to do yours?
Oh, careful, girls.
All right, that one I think is good. Let's do the last one. Oh, almost. Oh, wait.
No.
Not quite. Almost.
There we go. That's a good one.
Heard of chick birthday candles, but chick Shabbat candles?
All right, put it down. Is it going to stay? Should. All right. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Thank you, Kim, Kate, and Claire. We are going to continue on page 6, page 124 in the big book. In the middle of the page, let's read responsively. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship.
May we welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture.
May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity.
May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet.
May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness.
May this thing not be
For all who enter the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. We continue on page 20 and 21 with Lecha Dodi. That is in the big book, pages 138, 139. Page 20, page 138, Lecha Dodi. Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor ha'beracha, v'rosh mikedem nesucha, tov ma'aseh b'machshava tchila, la 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 lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat lekabela, lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat lekabela. Shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'b'tola, toch emunei am segula, bo'ichala, la 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 la, lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat lekabela, lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat lekabela, la 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 la, lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat lekabela, lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat lekabela. Let our lips sing the song that bursts from the heart, a song of love for those who are near, a song of cheer for the sick and needy, a song of friendship for the lost and lonely, a song of praise for you, O God. Hear the strains drifting on the wind of song and prayers for the embattled countries, and people too downtrodden to sing their song or pray their prayers to you. O God, show compassion so each can sing a new song of hope in the troubled world. We continue on page 26 with the Chatzi Kaddish. In the big book, you'll find it on page 144. Yitka David Kadash Merabah, Be'alma divrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechon uvyomechon, Ub'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala, uvizman kariv, v'imiru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevarach, le'olam li'amei amaya, yitbarach, yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yithalal, shemei dekudesha brichu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran bi'alma, v'imiru, amen. We turn to page 28, and as able, we rise for the Baruch Hu and remain standing through the Shema. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai. On page 30, page 148 in the big book, we continue in the Hebrew together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhmah poteach she'arim, uvitvuna mishaneh itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umisader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi layla, umavdil ben yom uvein layla, Adonai tzvaot shemo. El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Page 33, page 151 in the big book. As you taught Torah to those whose names I hear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Page 34, page 152. Adonai, Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kivod, Shem Kivod, Malchuto, Le'olam, Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated. We continue on the back cover of our insert of our Shabbat bulletin with Ve'ahavta, love Adonai your God. Love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. And these words which I command you on this day shall be in your heart, shall be in your heart. Teach them faithfully unto your children. Speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise. Bind them for a sign upon your hand, and upon you that they may be a symbol between your eyes, and write them on the doorposts of your house, and upon your gates, and upon your gates. Teach them faithfully unto your children. Speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise, and when you rise. We continue on page 39. Let's read together at the top of the page. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise presses through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Mi Chamocha is on page 40, page 158 in the big book. Yai bye bye bim biddy bum, yabba bye bye bim bum. Yai bye bye bim biddy bum, yabba bye bye bim bum. I die 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 die, yabba bye bye bim bum. I die 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 die, yabba bye bye bim bum. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. No rati lot osei pele, no rati lot osei pele. Ma'alechutecha ra'u banecha, lokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam. Ze'eli anu ve'amru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Yai bye bye bim biddy bum, yabba bye bye bim bum. Yai bye bye bim biddy bum, yabba bye bye bim bum. I die 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 die, yabba bye bye bim bum. I die 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 die, yabba bye bye bim bum. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל Yisrael. We continue on page 43. Let's read together in the middle of the page. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. We continue on page 44, page 162 in the Big Book. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam berit olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti le'olam, oti le'olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam berit olam. Ubayom hashvi'i, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam berit olam. Return to page 46, and as able, we rise for the tefillah. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Page 48, page 166. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot V'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah. Ata gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol ata rav lehoshia, Morid hatal. Mechalkel chaim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim ve'rafeh cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Micha mocha ba'al givurot, Umito melach, Melech memit umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman ata l'chayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahlucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. We're seated. And we turn to page 55, page 173 in the big book. Let's read responsively. Disturb us, Adonai, ruffle us from our complacency. Make us dissatisfied with the peace of ignorance, the quietude which arises from a shunning of the horror, the defeat, the bitterness and the poverty, physical and spiritual, of humans.
Shock us, Adonai. Deny to us the false Shabbat, which gives us the illusions of satisfaction amid a world of war and hatred.
Wake us, O God, and shake us from the sweets and sad poignancies rendered by half-forgiven melodies and rubric prayers of yesteryears.
Make
Us know that the border of the sanctuary is not the border of living, and the walls of your temples are not shelters from the winds of truth, justice, and love. Disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let be a time to be stirred and spurred to action. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Page 61. Page 179 in the big book. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamevarech et amo Yisrael, bashalom. We take a few moments for personal reflection and prayer, using the words on the following couple of pages or those that flow from our hearts. Yehiyu L'Ratzon by Michelle Citron can be found on the back cover of your bulletin. Adonai Tzuri v'goali, Adonai Tzuri v'goali. Go inside your heart, just be. Go inside your heart and see what it wants, what it needs, when it yearns, when you breathe. Go inside your heart and don't believe we have any birthdays or anniversaries this week, do we? Yes, but they're not here. They have to be here to get their blessing, here or online. They're not. So we are going to continue on page 278, page 278, page 570 in the big book. Wendy, would you like to do us the honors?
Yeah. Can I get standing here?
They can't hear you from there. Sorry.
הנני מוכן וזמן לקיים מצוות עשה של סבירת העומר כמו שכתוב בתורה, הסברתם לכם ממחרת השבת, מיום הביאכם את עומר תנופה, 7 שבתות תניות תהיינה עד ממחרת השבת, תזכרו 50 יום. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במזבחך וציוונו על ספירת העומר, היום 16 יום, שהם 2 שבועות ו2 ימים מהעומר.
Thank you. And what Wendy just read, I am ready to fulfill the mitzvah of counting the Omer. Our praise to you, Adonai, sovereign of all, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to count the Omer. Today is the 16th day of the Omer, which is 2 weeks and 2 days of the Omer. Now, today also happens to be, tonight and tomorrow, also happens to be Rosh Chodesh, which is the new month. So, we said the blessing, we always say the blessing during the Shabbat before to announce it. But it actually begins tonight. Now that we've lit the candles, it is officially Rosh Chodesh here. So we are going to turn to page 266, which is page 558 in the big book, for a very brief Hallel. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu likro et ha'halel. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of all, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to recite hymns of praise. The whole rest of it is the same melody. Hallelu et Adonai, kol goyim, shabchuhu, kol ha'umim, ki gavar aleinu chasto, ve'emet Adonai le'olam. Hallelujah. Hodu l'Adonai, ki tov, ki le'olam chasto. Yom marna, Yisrael, ki le'olam chasto. Yom runa, Beit Aharon, ki le'olam chasto. Yom runa, Yirei Adonai, ki le'olam chasto. Baruch haba b'shem Adonai, berachnuchem mi Beit Adonai, Eli atah ve'odeka Elohei aromimeka Hodu l'Adonai ki tov ki le'olam chasto. We turn now to those who are in need of healing of mind, body, and spirit. We turn back to page 253, page 371 in the big book, 253, 371. Mi sheberach avotenu ve'imotenu Abraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah, hu yivarech et hacholim. Marty Boyle, Bob Brock, Isaac Cohen, Sarah Cohen, Bruce Dalby, Carolyn Dowlin, Stuart Dowlin, Joseph Drezick, Kathy Hassenlop, Melanie Hudson, Jana Lesser, Arthur McLeod, Glenn Marin, Mike McNerney, Marge Muldoon, Cobb Muter, Robin Nelson, Rosemary Perez, Charlotte Renfro, John Robertson, Pamela Roberto, Bruce Schlossberg, Shimshon ben Avraham V'Sarah, Betty Seidman, Jennifer Simlin, April Singer, Mike Stern, Maureen Sullivan, Emilio Vasquez, Kay Williams, Valerie Zuckman, Heidi Hickman. Are there others for whom we are praying for healing this Shabbat? We'll start first in the room. Kim?
Raphael,
Thank you. Sandra?
Amy Hammond, and Tom McNish.
Thank you. Anybody else? Anybody on Zoom? Eileen?
Marlene Frevely, Jerry Grant, and Hank Howlett. Thank you.
Adam?
Ron Fraser and Margaret Terrason.
Thank you. Anybody else? I add Lacey Dalby, who is recovering from COVID. Hakadosh Baruch Hu Yimalei Rachamim Aleihem Lahachalimam Ulrapotam Ulachachazikam V'yishlach Lahem Mehera Refuah Shlema Min Hashamayim Refuat HaNefesh Urefuat HaGuf Hashta Be'agala Uvizman Kariv V'nomar Amen. And we continue with the Misha Berak that we sing together, which you'll find just below that prayer. This week's double Torah portion, Tazria Mitzorah, are two of the most challenging portions for us to understand in our modern society. The parsha opens by telling us how long a woman is impure after giving birth to a boy and after giving birth to a girl, and yes, they are different, and how she is to make expiation to return to a state of purity. The remainder of the parsha deals with a variety of skin afflictions and how the priest is to inspect them and determine if they are indeed sara'at, poorly translated as leprosy, closer to a skin affliction, or not, which then determines whether one is pure or impure. This, in turn, determines whether one can remain within the community or must be quarantined. Well, we know a little bit about that, don't we? But that's not what I'm going to speak about this evening. I want to get right to the heart of what I think is relevant and instructive from the Torah portion for us today. The entire parsha is mired, both parshiot are mired in ritual. When a woman gives birth, there's a specific ritual that she must complete to become pure again. When someone acquires one of any number of skin afflictions, there are specific rituals that both the afflicted and the priest must perform. As Jews, we are well aware of the power of ritual. After all, ritual pervades every single one of our Shabbat and holiday observances. And where ritual doesn't currently exist, we Jews tend to crave it and create new rituals to sanctify our life passages. Cantor Jill Abramson shares an article that ran in the New York Times on the subject of organ donation, entitled Rituals of Honor in Hospital Hallways. The article described a moving ritual by hospital staff to honor a deceased person who intended to be an organ donor. In this particular hospital, when a donor is carefully wheeled down the hallway to the operating room, each available staff person, nurse, housekeeper, social worker, dietitian, doctor, and volunteer, pause and stands in silence with quiet reverence to honor the person who has chosen to be an organ donor. Cantor Abramson writes, "The hallway ritual stuck in my mind. I was struck by the way in which the hospital staff had created a ritual, complete with special choreography and the involvement of the entire community, to honor this poignant moment." You may remember reading or hearing about the Clap Because We Care campaign that began very early in the pandemic, in March 2020, in Manhattan, by a group of neighbors who went out on their balconies each night at 6:58 and clapped, banged on drums or pots, or used their voices to cheer on the city's healthcare workers who were risking their lives to take care of those who were sick with coronavirus. The group of neighbors grew and grew and grew until it was not only Manhattan, but the entire 5 boroughs participating nightly from 6:58 to 7:04. By April, it had started to spread to other U.S. cities, and by May, it had become a worldwide phenomenon that lasted 4 full months. Why was this ritual so important? At a time when time seemed to be undefined, it brought definition to people's day. At a time when everyone was so isolated, it brought people together, even though they did it each from their own spaces. At a time when so many of us felt powerless, it gave people purpose. We have our own rituals, some of which derive from hundreds of years of Jewish tradition and practice, others which are unique to our congregation, such as the format of our Shabbat service and our town hall meetings. Ritual is so powerful. Dimitris Xygaladis, professor of anthropology at the University of Connecticut, teaches that people tend to perform more rituals during times of uncertainty or stress. At a time when our lives may seem chaotic, rituals impose order and therefore help us feel a sense of control. In addition, since many rituals are group rituals, they provide a sense of connection, which also serves to stabilize uncertainty and stress. Finally, Professor Zigalatis says that ritual is a source of resiliency. And he writes, "It is not surprising then that people around the world are creating new rituals. Some of those rituals are meant to provide a sense of structure and reclaim the sense of control. People have found new ways to celebrate age-old rituals and are coming up with a host of rituals to maintain a broader sense of human connection. Ritual is an ancient and inextricable part of human nature. And while it may take many forms, it remains a powerful tool for promoting resilience and solidarity in a world full of ever-changing variables. Ritual is a much-needed constant." The ancient priests held a dual role in Jewish life, diagnosing and caring for those with illness while also caring for the spiritual needs of the community. In those days, they were mostly concerned with what was pure or impure. For example, giving birth would have made you impure, and in that event, the priests were vested with outlining steps for bringing one's status back to a state of ritual purity. Today, to state the obvious, we no longer have a priestly caste or find meaning in the concept of impurity in Reform Judaism. However, we have retained important elements of the concept of purity in our liturgy, and it's really quite beautiful. You may recognize these words from the morning service, affirming the inherent goodness and purity of each soul. Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorahi. My God, the soul you have given me is pure. You created it, you formed it, you breathed it into me, and you protect it within me. Or this prayer, which comes from the Shabbat Amidah. V'taher libeinu le'ovdecha be'emet. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth. The implication, of course, is that we can all stand to grow in deepening the goodness or purity of our hearts. As we reflect on the work of the priests, the power of ritual, and the words of our prayers that express a longing for purity, I share with you the following prayer by poet, teacher, and author Ruth Bryn, written specifically as a response to these challenging parshiot. Though it was difficult long ago to heal the dread and deadly spots of leprosy, it is also difficult to heal the deadly hatreds we carry in our hearts today. How shall we even recognize beneath their bland and persuasive smiles those who are diseased with corruption? How shall we banish the evil that seeps into our own minds? O Lord our God, we whose souls are blemished and whose minds are impure ask of you, by what rights can we be clean again? By what ceremony can we be cured of all our moral illnesses? Teach us, we implore you, as you taught Moses, the ways of righteousness and strength. Help us to heal ourselves and to be physicians to those who need us. Make our souls pure as they came from you. Ken Yehi Ratzon. May this be God's will. Shabbat Shalom. Kim.
Hello, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Hello on Zoom, and hello to everybody in the room. Got a busy week. So this Monday, April 24th at 7 p.m. at the JCC, the Jewish Federation of San Antonio invites you all to remember Israel's fallen soldiers and victim of terror in Yom HaZikaron. You can register and have the details in our newsletter. Additionally, on the 30th, on Sunday, from 12 to 3 at the JCC, it's Yala 75 Home Ha'atzmaut. All right, I'll get those.
Israel Independence Day.
It's Israel's Independence Day. It's the 75th. So it'll be fun for all, admissions free. There's additional information in the newsletter. Additionally, we're going to have a table there from, it be about 1 to 3 hours if you'd like to volunteer. We'll be making paper mosaics, little craft. So if you're interested in volunteering, please get with Rabbi Lisa. There's a Jewish Senior Services is running a caregiver support group and grief support group, and their details are in our weekly newsletter. And finally, if you would like to sponsor an Oneg Shabbat to celebrate any occasion, your donation of $36 will cover the cost of wine, baked goods, and drinks. And if you'd like to bake, you can bring in your baked goods as well. So thank you, everyone, and Shabbat Shalom.
We are going to continue with the concluding portion of our service, beginning on page 282, page 282, page 586 in the big book. We're in the middle of the page. Choose your part, Ein Od, or the rest of the full Aleinu. Page 287. Return to page 295. Page 295, which is 599 in the big book. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. This Shabbat we remember Klaus Speicher, father of Marga Speicher, Gary Elmore, uncle of Dawn Elmore. Are there others who are observing a yard site or remembering somebody for Kaddish? Wendy?
We remember Nina Rado.
Thank you. Anybody on Zoom? We also remember 10 people who perished in the Holocaust: Heinche Aronson, Eva Berklau, Mitya Terberg, Antje Annalise Bierman, Emma Blank, Martha Therese Block, Bluma Bastianse, Hendrika Biesemer, Ottilie Van Berg, Celine Bierman. Zichronam Livracha, may their memories be for blessing, as we turn to the words of the Mourner's Kaddish on page 294, 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon, uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yithalal shemei kudsha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran bi'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru, amen. Please be seated. We turn to page 321, page 321, page 625 in the big book for our closing song, Adon Olam. Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol Yitzir Nira, Li'et Nasa, L'chefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, V'yacharei Kechlot HaKol, Levado Yimloch Nora Adon Olam, V'hu Haya, V'hu Hoveh, V'hu Yeh B'tifara Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol Yitzir Nira, Li'et Nasa, V'chefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, V'hu Echad V'yein Sheni, L'hamshilo L'hachbira Adon Olam, V'li Reshit, V'li Tachlit, V'lo Hoz V'hamizra Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol Yitzir Nira, Li'et Nasa, V'chefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, V'hu Eli V'chai Goali, V'tzor Chavli B'eit Zara Adon Olam, V'hu Nisi Umanosli, Menat Kosi B'yom Mekra Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol Yitzir Nira, Li'et Nasa, V'chefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, V'yado Akid Ruchi, V'eit Tishan V'ya'ira Adon Olam, V'im Ruchi Gevi'ati, Adon Eli V'lo Ira Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol Yitzir Nira, Li'et Nasa, V'chefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam. All right. Who would like to lead us in the Kiddush this evening? Somebody in the room, somebody on Zoom. Thank you, Steve. You'll find the Kiddush on page 5. Which is page 123 in the big book. Page 5, page 123 for the Kiddush.
Ready? Everybody. Baruch
Adonai,
Eloheinu melech haolam,
Borei peri hagafen. Baruch Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'yahava u'ratzon hinchilanu, zikara lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila, lemikra'e kodesh, zecher litziat Mitzrayim.
I am so much better this day.
V'otanu kidashta mikol hamim, v'shabbat kodecha, v'yahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-shabbat. L'chaim. And we're finally back to the homemade challahs.
The real thing.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lachem min haaretz b'tei avon. Turn off the live feed.